Jeremiah 6:16. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Shalom, Yashala, peace, Israel, Kohalor, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. This is Brother Abal Kabar from the Camp Prophets in Babylon, Tampa, Florida. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who do indeed teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect that are scattered abroad doing this work in truth and in sincerity. All right, and you see the title of the lesson going into a marriageable age for a woman concerning the Bible and the flower of a woman's age. Okay, and this is important to know concerning the scriptures. You know, we have been called to teach the truth, the 100% truth that we have learned from the elders and apostles of the great millstone concerning the scriptures. And you got guys that are, you know, they cherry pick the scriptures that they want to believe, man. All right, they try to tell you that marriageable age for a woman is 18. You know, they try to bring in the westernized world into the scriptures, man. And you can't do that, all right? We're going to go through some scriptures concerning a marriageable age for a woman. And, you know, when she is become able to marry, which we know that according to the scriptures, a marriage is sex. All right. Now, in this wicked society, obviously, it's not being governed by the scriptures. So you got to kind of abide by Caesar's laws, man. But in the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will be implemented over the four corners of the earth, man. All right. So, you know, you see what's going on with this guy, Polite, you know, which ultimately that whole thing was wicked, man. You know, he had came up against the elders and apostles. You know, they called the elders and apostles rapists, pedophiles, a whole bunch of wickedness just for teaching the scriptures, man. And the scriptures explains when a woman is eligible for marriage, man. Right? And it's not 18, it's not 16. It's when she passes the flower of her age. Okay, and I got some information on that. But the first scripture I'm going to go to is what you see in the background, 1 Corinthians 7:36. I'm going to read it on the back screen real quick, and I'm going to read the scripture. It says, virgin flower of her age. It says the flower of her age is when she first begins to menstruate, and this usually occurs around age 12 or 13. All right, so when a woman begins her menstrual cycle, she is able to have children. All right, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai did that for a reason. All right, that's not just a coincidence. You know, the Lord didn't make a mistake. No, that happens for a reason, man. All right, because she's able to marry, she's able to bear children. All right, 1 Corinthians 7:36. It says, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely towards his virgin, which, you know, we are supposed to have virgins, man. You know, a lot of these women have been defiled. They've been popped. And, you know, when you lay with a woman, a virgin, she has, you know, they call it in the world like you popping a cherry. You know, she bleeds the first time. You know, and that blood actually solidifies that she was a virgin. All right. That was a token to prove that she was a virgin. All right, and we're supposed to have virgins, man. You're not supposed to have women that have been defiled with many different men. And truth be told, by the time they get their menstrual cycle, these women, you know, they out there trying to find men already. All right, so you're trying to say that they turn to a woman when they're 18. By the time they're 18, they've already had 5, 6, 7 bodies, man. And that's being lenient, all right, in this day and age, man. But it says, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not, let them marry. Okay, and the flower of her age is when she starts to menstruate, when she starts to have her period. All right, and it said, let him do what he will. He sinneth not, let them marry, which we know sex is marriage. All right, and let's prove that real quick. All right, this is Genesis 24 and 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent and took Rebekah. So this is going into Isaac and Rebekah. All right, which Rebekah was labeled as a damsel. All right, and a damsel is a woman of marriageable age. And there's even an account in the New Testament where Yahushua, he rose a damsel from the dead. And he even said that she was the age of 12. All right, because in the ancient world, that's when, women would be married off, okay, around the age of 12, 13, when they begin to have their cycle, when they begin to be ripe or of marriageable age. All right. It says, you got guys that literally slandered and came up against the elders and apostles, called them all different types of names just for teaching the Bible. Okay, this is biblical. This is in the Bible, man. Okay, we're not telling anybody to do this. We're teaching the scriptures and telling you how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven, how it's supposed to be in a righteous world. We live in a wicked world. All right, this is not, Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. So the wicked rules the earth today. And that's why I opened up with, seek the old path. All right. Now it says, like you do some shit like that now, hey, they'll put you under the jail, man. So we ain't telling brothers to do this, but it's a scripture. So you gotta what? You gotta teach the Bible, man, at the end of the day. But this is Genesis 24 and 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother's tent, Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. So what did they do? Isaac took Rebekah, meaning he had sex with her. All right, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So that proves that sex is marriage. There was no ring, there was no, jumping over the broom and all that BS. That was all from the oppressors, man. At the end of the day, sex is marriage, according to the Bible, according to the Holy Bible. When you lay with a woman, you take her virginity, that becomes your wife. All right? So now let's go back to Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 7 and 36. And you got to teach this, man. This is something you got to teach, all right? Because it's in the scriptures. And guys try to cherry pick. They try to, teach what they want to teach. And that's not how it works. You got to teach the scriptures, man. All right, 1 Corinthians 7 and 36. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will. He sinneth not, let them marry, meaning let them have sex. Nevertheless, he that standeth steadfast in his heart, having no necessity, but hath power over his own will, and hath so decreed in his heart that he will keep his virgin, doeth well. All right. So let's go here real quick to the book of, actually, let me grab this real quick. Shut this. Let's go here. All right. All right, it says, the New King James Version basically reads, as does the King James Bible, but with one important difference. They miss the meaning of the phrase past the flower of her age, which simply means that she is now menstruating, has reached her childbearing years, and is ripe for marriage. The flower of her age is when she first begins to menstruate, and this usually occurs around the age 12 or 13. The idea is not that she is now old or getting on in years and past her prime. All right, so meaning she's ready to marry, okay? And, the reason a woman would be married off at that age is because, you didn't want to bring shame upon the father. Having a pregnant woman in your house, because she's supposed to be given to a man of understanding, and a man of substance at that. It says, John Gill comments on the phrase past the flower of her age. If she passed the flower of her age, that is, one that is arrived to years of maturity, is ripe for marriage, and is what the Jewish doctors call TGB, who according to them was one of the 12 years and a half old at which our virgins were judged fit to marry. Hence that saying of theirs, if thy daughter is ripe, or come to the flower of her age, make thy servant free and give her to him. All right, so women would be married off at a very young age. All right. Now let's go to this right here. All right, I got the word damsel in the blue letter. Okay, damsel. Genesis 24:16, and the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. All right, going into Rebecca, she was labeled a damsel. And when you go to the word damsel, it means girl, female servant of young woman, marriageable young woman, concubine. It says maid, but the point is a marriageable young woman. So a damsel is a marriageable young woman. All right. Now let's go to an account where Yahweh Shai himself. All right. Let's go to Mark 5. The book of Mark chapter 5 and verse 39. This is when Yahweh Shai pretty much rose the dead, who was a damsel. All right. Mark 5:39. And when he is come in, he saith unto them, why make ye this ado and weep? The damsel is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when he had put them all out, he taketh the father and the mother of the damsel, and them that were with him, and entereth in where the damsel was lying. And he took the damsel by the hand, which, remember what the word damsel means, right? A woman of marriageable age. It says, and said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. And straightway the damsel arose and walked, for she was the age of 12 years. And they were astonished with a great astonishment. So this damsel, which is a woman of marriageable age, was the age of 12 years, which is around the age that a woman begins to menstruate. All right. And when she menstruates, it's called the flower of her age. Even in Leviticus, it tells you that if a woman have her period or an issue with blood, it calls it a flower. All right. Let me actually go there real quick. This is Leviticus 15:19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, okay, meaning she is on her cycle, it says, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. So you ain't even supposed to be around your woman when she on her menstrual cycle. All right, it says, and everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything she touches is unclean. And we live in a society now, you know, all these women, they out here, they working jobs, they cooking your food, they doing everything, and they on their cycle, man. All right. It says, and whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. So if you were to touch anything she sat on, you would wash your clothes, you would have to bathe yourself, and you yourself will be unclean until the even. It says, and if it be on her bed or anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, what? That blood, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. All right? So that shows you that what? The flower of her age also goes into that blood. All right? When she starts to menstruate. Now let me go here real quick. All right, this is Deuteronomy 22 and verse 14, and give occasions of speech against her. Actually, you know what? Verse 13, if any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid, meaning not a virgin. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the tokens of a woman's virginity is, you know, what they call in the world when you pop the cherry, you pop her, she bleeds. That would go onto the sheets, and that was a token of her virginity. Okay, saying, look, my daughter, she was a virgin. All right. It says, and lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. So that cloth, where she first laid down, she would bleed upon the cloth, which, usually that happened around age 12 or 13, when she passes the flower of her age, that a sheet would be a token of her virginity, okay? Because you had guys that would say, take a wife, she would be a virgin, they would hate her, and they would try to get rid of her. But when you get a woman, you take her virginity, that's your wife. You can't put her away unless for adultery, all right? You stuck with her, all right? That's a whole other thing, going into the lay hold, taking hold of a woman, or what they call grape, all right? See, there was laws on that. If a woman was a virgin, she was not betrothed to a man already, and a man laid hold on her or took it by force, the penalty would be 50 shekels of silver to the father, all right? And we can actually go into that. Let's go into that real quick. This is Deuteronomy 22 and 25. It says, but if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, meaning this woman was already promised to another man, or she was, given unto another man already. She was already married, right? But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. So this man will be put to death, because this woman was already betrothed. She already belonged to another man. It says, but unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. So he took it by force, and she already belonged to another man. That man would be put to death. It says, for he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. So what would happen in the ancient world, if that happened, the woman would cry out, and the man would be put to death, because she already belonged to another man. Okay, so the sin was found in the man. All right. It says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, meaning she was not betrothed, she didn't have a man, she has not laid with a man, she was a virgin of marriageable age. If a man find a damsel, which we went into the word damsel, a young woman of marriageable age. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, meaning grab her, or what the world would call grape, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. So that was the penalty, and that wasn't, the primary way to get a wife, man. You wouldn't just go out and see, okay, I'm going to try to find a virgin, just take her. Nah. But there was accounts where it happened, all right? And the penalty was 50 shekels of silver. The man wouldn't be put to death, all right? And really, that woman had no choice. Now they become husband and wife, all right? He took the woman, that became his wife. And he cannot put her away all the days of his life, all right? You have to, pretty much take care of that woman. It says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. All right, so you cannot put her away. If you lay hold on a woman, you cannot just put her away. All right, and that's for a woman that is a virgin. Now, if she was not a virgin, the man would be put to death. All right, and see, the elders and apostles and, the men of the Lord were slandered and scoffed at and demonized for teaching the scriptures, man. That's all we're doing. We're teaching you what's in the Bible. All right. Now let's go to Sirach 42:9. It says, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth. Right, when you have a daughter, and these guys get so emotional. Well, my daughter. Well, what about my daughter? It's not about your daughter, man. It's about the scriptures. What does the scripture say? All right. And, a man that has a daughter, you should, care for your daughter. Really, you're supposed to give her to a man of understanding. You're not supposed to just let your daughter choose who she's going to marry. You see what, that gets us today. These women, they always go with these men that have no understanding, the drug dealers, the rappers, the ball players, and she gets defiled. All right? You're really supposed to give your daughter to a man of understanding, a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But it says, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep. Yeah, men be losing sleep behind their daughter, especially when they reach that age of maturity of her menstrual cycle, because that, she might have boys sneaking in, she might be sneaking out, going, and getting pregnant. Next thing you know, she's still under your roof, and she's pregnant with another man's baby, and the man ain't nowhere to be found. All right. It says, when she is young, lest she pass the flower of her age, and being married, lest she should be hated. Okay, so a woman is considered, young until she passes the flower of her age. That's when she becomes a woman. All right. It says, and being married, lest she should be hated, because it was a shame for a woman not to be married. It's still a shame for a woman not to have a husband. It says, in her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house. And that's what you see today. A lot of these women, they're having children, with different men, and, they still living with their fathers, man. So now the fathers, have to deal with it, which is confusion, man. It says, and having a husband, lest she should misbehave herself, and when she is married, lest she should be barren. Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter. So you're supposed to watch over your daughters. All right? Lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude. Right? Because, if you had a daughter and she ends up, committing whoredom, turning into a whore or a harlot, that was a shame upon the father's house. Bringing children of other men, that's a shame, man. All right, that's why, when a woman became marriageable, the father would, give her unto a man of understanding. Let me see if I can get that. Sirach 7:25, marry thy daughter. So you're supposed to one who is giving your daughter to a man of understanding, a man that is not going to defile her and destroy her. All right, it says, marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter. Don't let your daughter just choose who she gonna marry. And that's what we have today, and that's why we have a bunch of harlots, women that have been used and abused. All right, you definitely weren't the first one to have her. You'll be lucky if you find a virgin in this society. All right, so if you have a daughter, you're supposed to be the one that approves of this man. All right, it says, marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter. And you would marry the daughter when she was of marriageable age, okay, when she passed the flower of her age. All right, it says, And so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding. So you would give your daughter to a man of understanding, a man of substance, and this would usually be an older man. All right? So, you know, the flower of her age is when she begins to, menstruate, when she hits her period. You know, that was when she was eligible for marriage in the ancient world, according to the Bible. All right, so yeah, Lord willing, this was edifying to the hopeful elect. The flower of her age, marriageable age for a woman is when she passes the flower of her age, and the flower of her age is when she begins to menstruate. Okay, and the Lord did that for a reason. All right, the Lord didn't make a mistake. It's not a mistake that she can get pregnant now when she passes that flower of her age, man. All right, because that's when she's supposed to be married off. All right. So yeah, the elders and apostles were correct. You got men that slandered and scoffed, that came against the elders and apostles for this, but this is the truth according to the scriptures, man. All right. So with that, and you got all these guys, man, that was, talking shit. Why don't you do a video on polite, man? Y'all awfully quiet, man. All right. So with that, call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakak Kodash. Lord willing, it was edifying to the hopeful elect. Till next time, I say shalom.